Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Well, this is a good time to sit back and relax. Nothing to do today, just sit back, play my PlayStation 4 for a little bit. Oh man, there is nothing that can upset this moment. Wait a minute. Is Daredevil season... Let's see, Daredevil is canceled by Netflix and... Hey man, what the hell? What the hell's going on here? Oh, so the show's a success, so we cancel it. Or does it have a lot to do with that stupid streaming? And needless to say, you know what? I should get back into streaming sometime. Though technically I kind of am. But hell, you know what time it is, right? Let's get into it, right? We're going to start it up from the top here. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on... Oh, wait. Is that it? No. I don't think that you've heard me over here on the station. Let's take it up from the top, alright? Remember, it hasn't been that long since I did an episode. Come on now. From the top. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on...
J360 Radio.
Introducing Carvana Value Tracker, where you can track your car's value over time and learn what's driving it. It might make you excited.
Whoa, didn't know my car was valued this high.
It might make you nervous.
Uh-oh, market's flooded. My car's value just dipped 2.3%.
It might make you optimistic.
Our low mileage is paying off. Our value's up.
And it might make you realistic.
Car prices haven't gone up in a couple weeks. Maybe it's time to sell.
But it will definitely make you an expert on your car's value. Carvana Value Tracker. Visit Carvana.com to start tracking your car's value today.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is J-Man, just letting you all know what's happening. It is finally good to be back here with all of you for episode 78. It's been a while trying to get back to this, guys. I mean, I can't lie to y'all. I've been pretty busy. I mean, well, with the day job and college, you know, and hey, I'm kicking some major ass for that higher learning, you know what I'm saying? Finally getting that degree. Got to get that paper so I can get the big paper. So I can be more successful and stuff. Because that's just the way it is. Of course, there's a lot of debt incurred into this whole thing. But, you know, I'll be honest with you, right? A lot of people are afraid of the bill or they don't pay no mind to the bill. But when you have moments where you can improve and you see your gateway to improve, why won't you take it? You see what I'm saying? You got to look at it a little bit differently. Yes, it's a price tag on your choice. But you see that price tag becomes beneficial to you. And the way the cost of living is nowadays, you're going to have to sacrifice a little to get somewhere. And it sucks because on one end you feel like you're lighting candles at both ends. But then when you think about it, a lot of successful people, you know, those that haven't gone to college, that don't take the time to go to college and stuff like that, you see, they're very rare and few. A lot of the times, it's an absolute necessity to get higher educated. So, you know, it's one of those kind of things. I mean, as much as I like to be here and I like to go ahead and make a primary source of income out of this, and that's going to happen. But the thing about it is that, you know, you kind of want to have more options. And that's what it should be about when you go to college. And you're probably wondering why I'm giving you that social responsibility, right? Because I can. You should be about that life. You know, always think that, yeah, you might be working at a go-nowhere job now. Because God knows, you know, my day job's kind of really annoying. But the thing about it is think this. You're making sacrifices for the long term so you can get where you need to be. And that goes for anybody out here that's willing to make those changes and do what they got to do. By the way, I know this is a little bit of a different tangent, but I'm going to go ahead and refer to the other J360 show. In honor of the Cyclone, I'm taking a look at the Saints and Cowboys game, and right off the bat, man, what happened? Is this like... This is weird, because the Cowboys are usually not this good. I guess they went ahead and developed a squad or something? Or is it just that the Saints are that bad? I guess they're just not with it tonight. Something must be going on. Maybe Jerry Jones put some pills in the Saints' drinking water? I don't know what's this all about. Of course, they're saying Dak is under pressure, so maybe things will change. There's still like 7 or so minutes in the... There's still 7 or so minutes in the quarter. So, just got that on in the background while I'm busy doing the show tonight. Anyway, back to the J-Man show. Man. What an interesting turn of events. I mean, I don't have too long until the semester's over, but, so far so good. I think I'm going to make that Dean's List, and this will be the 3rd time for doing it. So, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. But I really just want to hurry up and get through parts of 2019 because, bruh. Ladies and gentlemen, all of these teaser trailers that just came through, even the Dumbo trailer just makes me excited. You got Dumbo, you got Aladdin, you got The Lion King. Even Toy Story 4. A Toy Story 4 is coming. It's just like, it kind of is interesting to me. I mean, I don't know if they're gambling a little too much on that or if it feels like an unnecessary sequel. I'll probably pick that up on another episode, but the 3rd one just ended so well. I'm amazed that they're willing to take the chance to go ahead and make a 4th one. But then again, little Bonnie has to grow up, right? So, I mean, maybe there's plenty of wealth for more stories. I'm supposed to be looking for Bo Peep in this one, so it'd be kind of nice to see Woody get his girl back. Though I'm sure he'll probably have to go through a lot to do so. I mean, well, then again, this is Toy Story, so no kidding on that. But to be honest with you, though, like, all of the nostalgia that just came through on that Disney wave right there is just outstanding. And, I remember on an earlier episode, I said that Maleficent kind of started this off. Maleficent did, because it gave you another angle of that character. But honestly, though, I think the one that really kind of started this whole thing, dating back, actually, is 101 Dalmatians. Now, wouldn't that be something that they did a remake of that remake of that remake for the original? Because, I mean, that happened before. Of course, it's not on the level like the new Jungle Book, and man, the Jungle Book just had runaway success. Because they managed to capture bits and pieces of what made the original cartoon pretty good. So you're looking at all these things that are coming out to play, but it still held its own, of course. Of course it did. I can say the same thing for Cinderella, and I can also say the same thing for Beauty and the Beast. I think Emma Watson did an okay job. Yeah, she did alright. And I mean, they captured the classic of that. That was pretty good. I'm really excited for The Lion King. I'll be honest, I'll go out here on a tangent and say that I'm more excited for The Lion King than I am the new Spider-Man movie coming. I will not compare it to Avengers 4, however, because, well, I got to know, just like all of you out there, we gotta know what happens now. I mean, a lot of you have listened to a lot of fan theories out there. Or who am I kidding? Of course you did. Because you just can't get enough of the MCU. Even if the MCU has weaknesses on certain aspects of it, you just can't get enough of it because it's so successful and we love all the characters. I mean, hell, some of you got all of the insignias tattooed on you, for goodness sakes. I mean, like the whole thing about it is that Disney has us by the scrote and they're just not letting go. You know what I mean? They got us in the fields and they got us in the scrote and they got us just about anywhere. And for some of you that think it's sexist, I would say they got us by the other thing, but, your 45th president has already said that enough, and needless to say, I don't have time for that nonsense this time. I'll just wait until when we get to the 80s lineup for me to become more controversial, because that was a very controversial time in our history. Why not do it for the J-Man Show lineup, I guess? But, man, I mean, it is just amazing to see, like, all this stuff coming together. I mean, even if it goes to the same place, even if you go ahead and say, like, how evil a company Disney is, I mean, you can't knock the fact that there's some reason for their success. And it's done so well. I mean, like, they even got other live-action movies on the lineup They got a Pinocchio movie coming, which, you know, if you remember way back in the day, that can be done. They have a Lady in the Tramp movie coming. I mean, they're just gonna. That's just their bread and butter, and they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop until we stop going to those movies. I guess we can include Pete's Dragon to a point. Yeah, that was remade, but you know, Pete's Dragon was always that combination between live action and animation, which sometimes can either be a hit or miss, especially like. Yeah, I remember way back in the day, like when they did, like Roger Rabbit was really the movie that just brought that up to a, you know, big boom for all of us. Like it was incredible. It's aged well even to this day. But when you look at like Rocky and Bullwinkle's movie, which was funny, I mean it had the charm, but it's like people just didn't care about it. You know what I'm saying? Or they said, "Oh, it's too fake." Of course it's fake. It's a movie. But when you go to its bare bones, it's supposed to be even faker because they're cartoon characters. And that's the coolest thing about suspense of disbelief. You want to have that sort of moment. Give the movie its time to entertain you. Because I think it's an overlooked classic myself. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because it just had that charm. And, you know, I remember as a kid, like, late in the night, just watching a bunch of Rocky and Bullwinkle episodes. You know, kind of helped shape my personality a little bit. But yeah, man, like, I'm really enjoying the lineup for 2019, especially with Godzilla in there. I mean, yeah, sure, that's Warner Brothers, but let's be real. This stuff is great, you know? Charms the hell out of me. But there's that other side of the spectrum, though, where, like, some parts of the MCU, because it's so big, and they can't just make movies for every single character. Some of them have to be on the small screen, too. And, of course, as we know, everybody's getting their own streaming platform, so Disney had to follow suit with that with Disney+. Now, the thing about Disney Plus is that I look at its lineup, I see that they're just, you know, dipping their toes in the water. They want to see where this goes. I'm excited for the Winter Soldier and Falcon, you know, limited series. I'm excited for the Loki limited series. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds pretty interesting to me, because who hasn't been in the spot that Loki is in? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got siblings, and you know some siblings that are doted on and everything else. So you got that kind of instance there. So that has some promise to it. And honestly, whereas Warner Brothers failed with the DCEU or Worlds of DC or whatever the hell it is, where they kind of failed or stumbled with that, they've redeemed themselves with DC Universe. There's something about that that's there for everybody. And it's good to see, like, Disney is going to try to follow suit on that. It's like I said in other episodes, like, you know, on one end of the platform, Warner Brothers does great. And then on the other side of the spectrum, Disney's doing great. You know? Of course, if you think about some of the Disney movies that are based on literary properties, such as, like, did they do Ender's Game? No. They did A Wrinkle in Time. Like, that kind of got lost in the catacombs of everything. And John Carter, you know what I'm saying? But when they saw that Avengers brought back all the money that was lost on John Carter, though, they just said, you know, we found a new gravy train to ride for a little bit while we just go ahead and re-release all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some things are experimental, but some of those other things are our bread and butter. And since the Marvel name is so ingrained in society, oh yeah, you know, we're not going to look anywhere else. But the point I'm making is, with all this, the Marvel Netflix shows, they help broaden the scope, along with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but, you know, I'll be honest with you all, I haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since the incident in the 4th season, so I really don't know what's going on with that. But those of you out there in the Pottering family, or, you know, or in the J360 Legion, you can always email and, you know, leave a voicemail on the hotline or something, you know, help fill me in on what's going on, you know, little things like that. Or I could go ahead and just make time to watch, you know, the 5th season, because I think they're on 5 or 6, right? So, yeah, I got to get caught up with that. But the Netflix shows, darker, grittier, with all the noir feel, like going into areas that the TV show don't touch and the movies don't have time to touch. That's what makes that medium so great. But then all of a sudden you see Luke Cage and Iron Fist got canceled. I mean, Luke Cage was like the first one to go down, wasn't it? Or no, it was Iron Fist that was the first one to go down, then it was Luke Cage. Which, is kind of disheartening because whereas Luke Cage's show was great, consistently great, the Iron Fist show, depending on who you talk to, because there's a lot of people who love season 1. Yeah, they exist, by the way. Some of the ones I talk to actually like season 1. And then there's a lot of people that didn't like season 2 and vice versa. Like, season 2 was a good improvement, mostly because of the supporting cast. I thought so for that, part of the spectrum, even though Davos kind of got on my nerves after a while. But, it's little things like that where I just look at it and I'm like, hey, this show's pretty good. Okay, now it's gotten better. Wait, Colleen has the fist? So then all of a sudden it's divided amongst 3, and then we don't know how Danny got his powers back in the end. So that whole side of the whole thing is still a void right now, And then we look over at Luke Cage's whole thing where he's like, he had to do what he had to do to maintain the peace. I mean, let's be real. That was what Black Mariah was talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what she was talking about. Like, yeah, sure, there's a lot of illicit things going on, but had to keep filling in the wall just to maintain some order. No matter how dirty or clean it is, she did maintain order in some way. She was nuts as hell in the end, but maintain order some way. See, and that's what I like. I like those shades of gray. I like how real these shows are. But then after a while, you see Netflix is on a canceling spree, so click, 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 click. Yep. No Iron Fist Season 3 for us. No Luke Cage Season 3 for us. And those are the Heroes of Hire, and they're out of work. And then you see, but luckily, though, they set it up for, Daughters of the Dragon to kind of fill in the void. But at one time, see, that's going to deal with Colleen and Misty's story. And at best, I just want to see, I want to see Luke and Danny team up. That's what I'd rather see. Because it's high time for it. Why not? Of course, I don't know whether it's critical responses to things or it's the viewership, or basically it's because, I think it's just because of that streaming service. I really do. They had to find a way to get a loophole out of something because those shows, depending on who you talk to, of course, were successful in their right. And honestly, Jessica Jones Season 2 it just annoyed me. If any reason I put up with that, it's because of the lore. You know what I'm saying? And I know about the character of Jessica. I know she goes through some things, but there's just something about Season 2 and her attitude in Season 2 that just, I can't find myself enjoying. That's why I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is just that show where I just gotta respect these supporting characters and their story and just, plot along with the main character a little bit. I'm sure, I'm not alone in that. But, as usual, it's interesting to me to see that Netflix would do this, especially when a lot of these shows were at the height of their game. And take Iron Fist down out of the spectrum a little bit, but, Luke Cage's show was definitely at the height of its game. You want to see what happens next, and then you realize that it's left hanging, and it's like, oh, come on, But now there's another one on that list that was already red hot. And it's Daredevil. Daredevil, of all things. It's Season 3 was so great, and, they gave Bullseye an origin. It's yes, this is alright, this is worth the wait. And then, cut! No Season 4. And there was plans for a Season 4. Now, according to this article on Collider, I'll go ahead and I'll post a link down at the bottom in the description. But according to this whole thing, there is a chance that it's open for Marvel to do more with the character. So, okay, fine. But, see, the thing about it is that, are they going to do it behind the scenes? Are they going to be sneaky about it? Is it going onto the new streaming platform? Or is there going to be a whole Marvel-only area? Because it's not like they don't have the ability to do that. It's just see, these shows are not Inhuman. You know what I'm saying? These shows are not the Inhumans. These shows had a chance. And they were enjoyable. Whereas the Inhuman show was just, Ah, damn, man. You know, Black Bolt and company, the royal family of Adelan just had a raw deal throughout that whole scenario. It was a horrible experiment. Ike whatever his name, should be ashamed of himself for even going through with that kind of thing. And not only that, you know, it's just dust to dust. I still say they should go ahead and talk to the people that were involved, though, to a point, and, you know, but then again, they deserve better. So maybe it's best we don't reopen old wounds like that. But I just use that as an example because that was, probably the first big failure at best? You know, regarding small screen shows. Though debatable. I look at it like, okay, well, maybe they're all going to a new home. Maybe we'll get that season 4. But I also realize that there's another big production coming, which is The Punisher season 2. And, you know, like, I love Frank's story too. You know, I want to see more of these characters. I want to see things develop. Just, you know, just like, don't cut it off like when we're all just sitting there and we're just enticed by this. We're invested, you know what I'm saying? Like, when a trilogy of movies are coming, of course, it all really depends on how well the installments are performing. And you only want to go up. But if you go to the point where it's like, this isn't the reason why, and you see like it's all because of some executive meddling of some sort, then you're like, oh, damn, they didn't really appreciate about the customer at this point, did they, huh? You know what I'm saying? Oh, isn't that cool? The Saints are at 10 and Cowboys are at 13. Well, hopefully they'll do right by all of us out there and just beat the Cowboys, because a lot of Cowboys fans, when they start winning, oh, here come the arrogance. Here come the BS. And some of y'all will probably say, well, Jay, you're an Eagles fan. No kidding, I know that. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Cowboys had their time. The 90s are over. You know, and depending on what side of the spectrum you are on that, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. Now, going back into Netflix, though, it's just, I don't know. Maybe Netflix is restructuring itself. Maybe there's a little bit more competition out there. Of course, we know with Disney, it's that they're doing their own streaming service. But none of these gritty shows. Maybe these shows are too gritty. Maybe it's all about image with Disney at best. Maybe they're like, you know what? Yeah, since we're using our parent name, we kind of don't want that to happen right off. Maybe. I'm grasping at straws here because it comes as an eye-raising scenario at best. But luckily, though, for those of you that haven't caught on or even watched the Daredevil show and stuff, you know, they did say that we'll actually be able to watch all 3 seasons, so that's good. That's good. At least they're not taking all that stuff away from us. You know, I remember walking through Walmart and I saw like season 1 of Daredevil was on the shelves for people to buy, so, you know, home release, but I don't know if anybody bought them because I didn't see a season 2 or season 3 just came out, but I didn't see season 2. You know, but also, there was never an announcement for a Defenders Season 2 either. So, the jury's still out on it. But the fact that it's actually on that list now, it's just, well, that's not cool. You know what I mean? But I could go on this for a little bit more, but I don't see the whole point about that other than, like, I'll just vent my frustrations out on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Which, I'm going to be honest with you all, I know what I said about it, but, you know, after a while, it kind of grew on me. You know, it's one of them games where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to beat the crap out of Thanos until Avengers 4 gets here. And, fortunately, he's actually on the game, so it's like, you know what, finger snap this ass. You know what I'm saying? And so I've just been pummeling him on different levels in the game all the time. And then actually, when you get good at using him, you know, he's a beast. And as he should be. But, you know what I mean. And it's just like, wow, there's a good game under that. It's just movie license, you know. But we don't have to worry about that anymore because the merger went through. And I'm just anticipating the X-Men's arrival along with Fantastic Four. And you know what? Since it's like right there, they could do it right this time. But no matter what happens, at least we all still have the comics, right? Because that's what it's all about, right? I mean, some of y'all like to read, right? Well, don't all argue and yell at me at once. You know what I'm saying? Which, by the way, a weird thing happened as I was working on, the mini bites. Yeah, keep in mind, that's still a thing, too. I'm just trying to figure, should I have it on Anchor or should I have it on Spreaker? So I'll probably have a poll for that. And we'll get into this week's poll a little bit later, but I don't know what it is with some people, but when someone, there's a lot of trash on the internet, right? Like, people post a lot of their arrogance and their ignorance on the internet, right? So when this girl was talking about be consistent, and she was saying something like, be consistent. If you don't see a woman like me around you, yada, 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 then you should be more consistent because I went with a more consistent man. And I'm sitting there reading that nonsense because I guess at that point I'm either done with what my task for the night, or I didn't have to work, or I was just bored as hell, and I was like, okay, let me see, what the hell is this? Now, I'm not some sort of gate cop and say that you shouldn't be posting crap like that, but I'm also a writer, and I'm wondering what the hell you're talking about. Because this is the same person that sat there and said, hey, I don't need a man. I'm a strong, independent woman, she said. And then I was like, hey, what happened to all that, you don't need a man kind of crap, scenario? I didn't say kind of crap. I said kind of crap on here. But I asked her about that, and then all of a sudden she got defensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really was like, that's true, I don't... And then, like, I got to see all the insecurities out of her as she said that I was blocked and all that other, trying to call me some names out of the book. But you see, I had so many emojis up that were laughing at her and stuff. Even though mental illness is not something you laugh at, but when somebody does some crap like that, there is something wrong with them. And insecurity is a very unattractive thing. Now, I know how, like, comedy movies and all that kind of stuff try to make it seem like the guy's insecure, but if you think about it, it happens on both sides of the spectrums, and when it's on both sides, it's not attractive at all. It's ridiculous as hell. And I'm sitting there looking at this, I'm like, this girl barely knows me, but I just asked the question of something she said. You know what I'm saying? Of course, she's a 40-year-old woman. Who I shouldn't be calling her girl. She's a 40-year-old woman. Body is pretty and everything else. Don't take it the wrong way. But do take it that way because I am single and ready to mingle. But I wouldn't, I don't date 10 years up. You understand what I'm saying? But I look at this kind of stuff and I'm looking at her and I'm like, are you okay or are you just woefully insecure? And then she tried to turn that around on me like I need a hug. Now, yeah, she tried to ask me if I need a hug or I'm completely miserable. And I'm like, I'm not miserable at all. I mean, I may not like my day job, but there's other aspects of my job that I love and adore. And who I am, you know what I mean? My job is not who I am. My job is where I make money. Just like, as I build this production company, that's going to be the same thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to love this because this is what I eat and sleep and live for. But when you look at somebody like that who's trying to come at you with this kind of stuff, like, there's nothing about me that's miserable at all. Other than just, like, damn bills showing up that you got to pay, and you do have to pay them. But you all know that. Now, see, as she's going ahead and explaining herself, and then she blocks me for no reason, and I'm like, well, I was laughing and having a good time. But the reason why I'm telling you all this stuff is because just because some people on social media look like they're successful, there's something on the inside that is not entirely right about them. Especially if they're using snob appeal to try to make themselves look bigger and better than yours. You know what I mean? And that lady I talked about is supposedly a radio professional. And like she's top of the game. Like nobody can touch her and nobody can catch her level. But at the same time, you realize how small her level is and how low to the ground she is because of the way she treats people. Success really shows on how you treat other people. Not just about how much money you have, or not just about how fit and trim you are, and all that other stuff. Oh, you could be as perfect as you want to be physically, but imperfection comes through, just like my stutter right there, through the mindset of things. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I really should have Stacy pop in sometime to, we'll probably talk about that on another episode most likely, but it doesn't take long to show your insecurities. And you see, if you're somebody that's confident most of the time and all that kind of stuff, that you're only human. But at the same time, you should not be throwing stuff like this out on the internet just because the Kardashians do it. And even if they do it, you realize that those people are born rich, right? Why do they have to do it for strangers to admire all that kind of stuff? But I think I saw this on an episode of some show back in the day where a woman freaked out because she was the only person on earth with another guy, and he would never tell her that she was pretty because she was so used to getting that from other people. It made her crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I guess some people need that gratification, maybe? Some people really need to hear that from other people, maybe? Instead of just, so that means that, but this person here, when they look in the mirror, and they talk about like, I love myself, I blah blah blah, I'm all this body positivity and crap. Does that mean that body positivity is actually a joke? Is that what that is? It's one of them little things. It's like, is it pretty much that where they think that that's the real world right off the bat? That's just an echo chamber that they made for themselves? I mean, I'm not saying that body positivity isn't bad and that you shouldn't love yourself. Oh, always love yourself before you love somebody else. You got to. Otherwise, you're just making a big mistake and you're only going to hurt yourself more. But I'm not saying don't be confident. I'm just saying don't be arrogant and insecure like that, because needless to say, you're already on a slippery slope and you're already messing yourself up, because guess what? There's going to be that day where you'll meet somebody like me, a so-and-so that pretty much looks at stuff inside out and just sees what you are and will just point that out to you and be like, just by asking an innocent question. That woman had thin skin. I think her skin was a lot thinner than Trump's, maybe. And he can't handle anything unless he's dishing it. So, it's bad. Man, and you know what? The worst part of it all is, J360 Legion? There are thousands upon thousands people out there who can dish it, but they can't take it. Fortunately, though, I have a good group out here that actually knows about what a joke is and how to take something, and how to be more expressive and assertive, and if something is not working with you, you're allowed to say it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't block people, but it's like, I'm not trolling you. I will describe the dysfunction of you if you're getting to that point where you're trying to go ahead and make a big case out of it. And the thing about it is, this isn't a huge case right now. That's why some people are afraid to ask people out, because of outbursts like that. And this is also why the dating game is in a cluster fludge. Yeah, I wanted to put my own spin on it. Because people are just, I don't know, they're just a mess of impulses and everything else, to the point where they're afraid of natural urges. And while I'm saying natural urges, I'm not saying like, to go ahead and rape and blah, 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 blah. No, that's a crime. I'm talking about getting to know someone. I'm talking about speaking to them. I'm talking about actually getting out of your comfort zone and putting love shyness on hold and doing what you need to do to put some effort in. I mean, going back to Disney, like, you look at those romances and stuff like that, yeah, it's cute, right? But here's the thing. Those were hand-drawn and written romances. This right here, this is not written. This is, getting out of your way and changing your story a little bit. And when you have to change your story a little bit, you kind of have to say, all right, life experiences will change things. Sure, I was raised to this point, and sure, I've learned something from the people that I associate with, which, by the way, if you realize that all the people you associate are getting somewhere in life and you're not, you might need to rethink your circle, because that right there is just a reason for them to impose their crap on you so that they can go ahead and do what they want to do and stuff like that. So you might want to change your circle. But it's just interesting that somebody who is so confident, so well adjusted, a big CEO, and ahead of the game, better than everybody, can get flattened to 2 inches by a man who can barely bring home $200. For now. That's funny. Oh, man. Of course, that's a fabrication in itself. It's not like I could barely bring home $200, but I did want to let you guys know that while I'm not rich, at the same time, I'm not at the point where I could go ahead and, put my name on a building and act like people should automatically love me. The truth is that it's just because it looks successful on social media does not mean that it is successful. There's a lot of other crap out there, and needless to say, if somebody will fall apart just because you ask them a question, that says a lot about them. Oh, and by the way, when somebody goes on this tangent and says, "You do not know me, you don't know what I went through," do what I do and say this: I don't care. I don't care what you went through. You know what? Yeah, I'll be honest. What you go through means nothing more than this cup of coffee I have on my desk right now. That's right, because you know why? That's your life. I don't take any problems that you make and dump them down on other people. Because you know why? Because I can man up and go to the gym. I can actually go and do other things to go ahead and work that problem out. Not only that, I can go ahead and write a novel, a script, or hell, even a play, because that's just what I do. And not only that, there's other things I can do to the point where it's like, you know what, it doesn't bother me. It does not bother me at all. But however, you try to say that I don't know you. I know enough about you to not associate or invest in you, though. I know enough about you that you need to go seek some help and talk your problems out, or do something. Do something to work that problem out, because guess what? That is your cross to bear. And needless to say, just because you done got rejected or yada yada yada, mistreated in life or all these other things, I'm sorry. But you got to find a way to overcome that problem. Not patch it up. Because then you'll have guys like me. And keep in mind, I'm not a nice guy. There are times I'm a complete a-hole. Because guess what? You all helped create me. Yeah, because of that kind of stuff in society, I had to become more self-reliant on things, but I also know I can't do things without help. That's why I got the J360 team, or that's why I got my fam, and that's why I got my pod fam. You know what I mean? And keep in mind, I'm not saying girl gang, guy gang, and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying as co-ed. I'm saying as I work and talk with everybody, because that just makes you well-rounded. And not only that, if you really pay attention to yourself and what you put out here, like what I say on this show or any of the shows that I created or any of the shows that I'm a guest star on, the point is this. You are your own responsibility. And if you can't handle what the hell you just put out there, then that says a lot about you, doesn't it? If you can't own up to the fact that you did something wrong, you are no better than those people that we got in public office right now. Or the people that we, quote, glorify when we see them on other sides of media. The reason why those people are in power, because you know what? We are all woefully insecure about something that holds us down. And it's so damn sad. You understand what I'm saying? So you're fat. Try to exercise. And if you can't lose weight because of steroid weight, find another way to make your life happier. There's always something better. The thing about it is this. If you want to make changes, you got to make those changes on your own. But it's like this. If you want to be loved in some way, not everybody's going to love you. Try loving yourself first. And then another thing is to also try to say, guess what? You don't have to be in my group. You don't have to be my leading lady. You don't have to be anything for the J-Man. Because there are thousands upon thousands of others. Trust me, folks. There's parts about me that are imperfect, but I'm working on changing them. I had to start with my attitude. But I also had to start with my mindset on things, too. You see what I'm saying? At my core, I am a great guy, and I only want to do the right thing. But there's that other part of me that just says, you know what? Society is really screwed up, and I'm just not going to take the bull. You see? At that point, I just told you that I'm not a nice man. I'm an honest man. And you see, there's a lot of brothers and there's a lot of sisters out there who are just as honest as me. But that doesn't mean that you can go ahead and try to, throw your BS on us. See what I'm saying? However, I will touch base on this topic at another time because I think it's that whole thing called incels, and I'm not going to put that on the J-Man Show because y'all don't deserve that. I'm going to put that on the Mini Bites. And as for the Mini Bites, that's going to happen next week, and you guys are going to be in for something. Because it's almost time to go ahead and wrap this up. Right? But hey, I'd like to thank some of y'all for listening to me. Just in case, I don't know if I mentioned this, and I probably have. Bear with me. But, whenever I do the show, whenever I do the J-Man Show live, there's a chat bar here. Anytime you bring up the show, you want to talk to me about certain issues or certain topics, hey, you know what? Just go ahead and chat with me. I'm not going to bite you entirely. I mean, granted, if it's something that doesn't make any sense, yeah, you're in for it. But the thing about it is this. It's an open forum, guys. I mean, at that point, let's talk. And then there's going to be moments where I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams on the J360 Productions page and everything else. I mean, this is your time to talk with me and hopefully anybody else in the J360 lineup because, we're a unit. We're a network. And if you want to leave some voicemails, because I'll start playing them on the show from time to time, so keep it clean in a way, but make it, your own. You can go ahead and leave a voicemail, or you can call the J360 Radio Hotline, 240-903-1634. Anytime you want. And then you can also email any of the J360 shows using J360productions at outlook.com. But that's all I have for you right now. So this is Jay signing off on the J-Man Show. Episode 78 is done, and I will see you all next time.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.